Hi, everyone. We are here today. Let me just try and to start actually the program that I mentioned earlier this week. As we are planning to do some more material for you, some material that you are saying is more useful. And that's why we did a survey on the beginning of the week. And it seems like finance is the biggest, had the biggest interest of the people that took the survey. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about different aspects of what finance means. And we are going to, then on Thursday evening, I'll be here. I don't know if Peter will have time. I'm going to do a coaching session, 1 hour coaching session. So whoever is interested to be part of it, that can be, any questions, anything related to what we are talking about today, or anything else related to finance, something else, doesn't matter. But we are going to do a 4-week talks about different aspects of whatever finance means to us or to you. You can ask more questions and be with me on a coaching session on Zoom on Thursday. Now I'll let Peter start with this one.
Okay, thanks, Vera. So that was the most popular topic. You mentioned finance. I'm guessing you're talking more about money and wealth. And correct me if I'm wrong, please obviously comment after the video, because I'm interested to understand why it was that particular word. But if you're looking at money, wealth, that kind of thing, then we can certainly help you in terms of your relations towards, having money, not having money, what your goals and targets are for 2018 and beyond, and, what you perceive as wealth. Because if you talk a word finance, to me, that's kind of like financial advice, planning. And I'm pretty sure Maria would say I'm definitely the last person you want to speak to in terms of that kind of stuff. But if you talk about feelings relating to money and wealth, then I think this is quite a useful and interesting topic. So, for example, if you want to, change jobs, but you have some feelings or fears around the future, because, there's some real things that you need to think about when you're transitioning away from, say, a full-time job as an employee to maybe having aspirations to own a company, or, do something that you're more passionate about, or, lights you up, makes you happier. And, we've been in the same situation last year and also going into this year where, sometimes our feelings can trap us a little bit, and we get thoughts around money and, oh my God, when's the next paycheck going to be? How am I going to pay my rent? And, if you've got a family, it gets even more complicated, because then you're talking about, providing for your family. And, you kind of tell yourself this narrative that you can't take a risk, you can't make a change, and then people feel really stuck, like they're in a loop. I kind of hear this quite a lot. But I can honestly say that that's not the case. And yeah, there's still, you've got to be sensible. I'm not just saying go and quit your job without having any plan in place and walk in and tell your boss that you're going to leave, and, and not really have anything set up in, for how you're going to go forward. But what I am saying is that a lot of these feelings related to these areas where you want to change, or, for example, you want to earn more money or change jobs, all of these things, they're actually just feelings, and we can actually use them as a driver. I think we mentioned before, fear is quite a good one. It's good to be fearful when we're in a dangerous situation. But we do have an ancient part of the brain which kicks in when we even have something good in place. So, for example, you want to try something new, you might want to restudy. You've got a fear that it might be a waste of time, and why would you waste lots of money on doing, for example, a master's degree or something like that? And then the fear kicks in. But it's, a little bit of fear is actually good. And if you can just use it as a driver, then actually it's quite a good thing to push you forward. Most of the things that I've been looking at for this year, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit fearful about some of the things because it's a massive change for Mira and I. However, usually these things, when they do carry a bit of fear, they are pointing you in the right direction. And sometimes that's the best things to do. Some of the more easier options, or, just staying where you are, isn't necessarily always the best place. It can be the easiest because it's comfortable. And, you might be completely happy in your particular job. That's fine. But it's, what do you want to change? It's looking at all the different aspects of your life. So going back to finances, I'd be really interested to know, what lies underneath this word finance. Is it you would like to earn more money in 2018? Is it you've got a weird relationship with money, or you have this perception that you do? Or, you're fearful that, you can't make enough money to make ends meet, or, I'm really interested in what your thoughts are.
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, I just want to go back to what you said just earlier about, whenever we go into different situations, something that we are not used to, we are getting out of our comfort zone, changing something, anything, we feel this feeling. I don't even want to say fear, but it's similar to fear. So we put it in the same basket, but it's the feeling that always happens when we are doing something that we haven't done before. And we often mistake that with the fear of something bad happening, and then we don't even go there. So it's a little bit of this healthy fear that you explained that is not a bad thing. It's actually telling you that you're doing something new, something that it's out of your comfort zone, and it does not mean at all that it's going to be bad because you have that feeling. It's just it's just getting out of the comfort zone. Now, the other thing is that I was reading something recently, and I think maybe today, this session, we could focus onto that acquired belief system about money, and that also one part of that is not changing anything, or even changing jobs, but for the same salary, or even earning more money, but then just spending more onto things that maybe are irrelevant to you, so you can't get what you want. I don't know, money is usually used for buying stuff and shit, and so if you have a particular thing that you want to do with that money, but you don't seem to have it or have enough, you might be spending more suddenly. You might be, there are a couple of interesting belief systems about money. It's people that can't hold on to money. Their money is just like running through their pockets. People that can't earn. So maybe there's something about value, like I don't think I can earn more, or fear of losing. So you're scared to invest in something, and maybe you would want to. I remember we were talking recently about Bitcoin. Would that be smart? Wouldn't that be smart? So it could be investment or real estate, anything really, where you find that all of that can be part of that belief system about money, the belief system that we are that we have acquired over a period of time, our thinking about money, I wouldn't even say belief system, but thinking that we have about money, the feelings that we have about money, and maybe even about ourselves. Are we capable of something? Are we not capable of something? So this first session about money, I would, I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
A lot of the feelings around money is when you talk about beliefs, most of us believe that, it buys us, money does give you options, but also we really attach the words like security and feelings around being secure, having money in our bank account and things like this. But actually, that's not the case. You can only, real security comes from within. And of course, it's great to have, money because it allows us to do nice things and, it allows us to achieve our goals. We can go on holiday. But having a full bank account doesn't necessarily give you any security. And I can guarantee it really does not give you happiness. Again, you've got to look in a different place. And actually, I've been speaking to quite a few people of late who've actually got quite a bit of money, but they're never happy. And also, one of my mentors has been coaching people who, they're worth millions. They have, on paper, they should be the happiest people on the planet. They've got more money than lottery winners. But again, they seem to be really depressed because, like most people, we kind of have goals and we really go for them. And we're like, yeah, I'll be happy when I have £3 million in the bank. I'll be happy when I change jobs and I've got more money, because I'll get a salary raise. I'll be happy when my boss promotes me, all this kind of stuff. But weirdly enough, when it happens, how many times have these things happened and you don't actually get the feelings that you thought you would do? So I ask you, to really, really think about, the whole aspect of money and the feelings that are attached to it, because that's a really big thing and it's very different from how we've been, being brought up or what we read about or led to believe all these books about, how to earn money, how to be a millionaire, all of this stuff. But a lot of it is really just, these feelings that we attach to security and, what makes us happy isn't necessarily about wealth. We have to get all of the basics right. And these kind of lead us in the right direction. And then all of the other things like earning money and security will come later on just by doing what you do.
Yeah, it's I've read lots of research about money and money and happiness, and all of them are saying that there is a certain threshold of money that where say happiness and well-being are related to amount of money that you earn. But that's to cover the basic levels, that you have where to live and you have food, and that's about it. Everything else above that does not increases your levels of happiness. And actually, earning above certain level can make you unhappy, which is quite interesting. But anyway, let's not go there. But I guess, and again, this happens, the earning above certain amount of money, it might decrease your levels of happiness. It doesn't happen to everybody. It happens to people that are earning money for wrong reasons. I'm earning money in order to feel safe. And then when you actually earn a huge amount of money and you still don't feel safe because safety doesn't come from amount of money that you have,
exactly.
then changes. And then it makes you start feeling unhappy because you start feeling unhappy because you don't see the point. You can never feel safe. You can, your whole belief system is being questioned. Your value system is being questioned. So, I remember Jamie Smart mentioning the money is the amplifier. So, if you're making it for wrong reason, you're just going to amplify whatever problem it is.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, that's quite an interesting thing. You hit the nail on the head there. A lot of the things that you or we all get stuck with when we want to change, we kind of have to change them step by step, one by one. Or sometimes just changing one thing can have such a massive impact. One insight can change lots of different aspects of your life. What I've been reading about, what I can't even speak, what I've been reading about recently is about giving yourself permission. And that might seem about weird. It's like having an internal dialogue with yourself, you know, not being crazy, but just saying, you know, if you really have goals, sometimes, you know, and I've done this many times, I might outwardly tell people I want this year. I've got really, you know, lots of aspirations. I've got this to keep me busy, this and that. But a lot of the times internally, I've got this other voice saying, nah, you can't do that. You know, you're not good enough. Who are you to think you can get this, that, and the other, or happy? So a lot of it is actually getting the basics right and giving yourself permission to make mistakes. Even crucially, just telling yourself, you know, I would like permission to earn more money. You know, and again, it might sound really stupid saying something like that, but you wouldn't believe how good that is for your own, you know, internal well-being. Just by saying, right, this year I want to give myself permission to make mistakes, but I also want to earn some more money, and then set yourself some goals and then taking some action. Now that's really powerful. And just by doing those kind of steps, because, you know, up until about a year and a half ago, I really believed it on the outside, or I really was very good at doing the sales pitch to people, and people are like, wow, yeah, that's really good. He seems really sorted. But then internally, or people who are really close to me would realize that I wasn't really confident about it, or I would get halfway or even less than halfway up to achieving one of these things, and then I would crumble. I would start to panic and get anxiety. And then all this other internal things would go on, like, you know, you're not good enough, or I would get scared that I can't, you know, make this change because it's, you know, it's too risky, you know, millions of different things. So just by making these simple little steps and saying, okay, if that's really what I want and you really believe it, and, you know, it ticks a lot of boxes, it lights you up, it gets you a bit excited, just by doing something that obvious can have really profound effect on you. And it can point you in the right direction. It's like anything. Lots of people talk about grounding, having a good foundation. These are the kind of things that are quite important, and the initial steps. And, you know, if I work with people and they say, right, I want more money or this, and, you know, I kind of reverse it a little bit and say, you know, why? What's it gonna, you know, what's it gonna get you? And then when people say it's gonna make me happy, I don't just obviously drop a ton of bricks on them and say that's rubbish. But I will start to then ask them other questions about other aspects of their life until it gets to a point where they get to the core, and then I can see them like, ooh, you know, the light, you know, there's a spark there. Because when people say, I want more money, I believe that, and we all do. God, I mean, we talk about it all the time. You know, that's why we're sitting in different rooms right now, in fact, different countries. But in reality, there's always a lot of sub-levels of, actually, if you get to the crux of what it is that you know, people really, really want, it's got fuck all to do with money. It's about the other aspects of having more money and what that's going to give you, you know, and that's what you really need to focus on. And weirdly enough, if you stop worrying about how much is in your bank account and you focus on what the byproduct, the positive byproducts of having more money, you know, when I talked about before giving you options, that's the bit that you should really focus on. So when you're thinking, right, okay, I need X amount of money, why do you need that money? Because it's not about happiness and security. That doesn't really work. And, you know, if you don't believe me, then try it, you know, because if you set yourself goals around those, you really set yourself up to fail. You know, even if you get happiness, or, you know, you achieve the goal, wow, I've got, you know, 500,000 in my bank, or whatever it is, you've set yourself a goal, £1 million, whatever. It kind of feels hollow and empty when you get there, because it's the other stuff underneath that's got all convoluted and confused, you know. So you really need to be thinking, right, what's truly going to float my boat? What do I really want to change?
What do I want to do with that money?
Yeah. So, for example, some people are very happy in the job. They're very happy with the family. You know, they have a high standard of living in terms of how conscious they are. And they see money as a driver to take them on holiday, and they spend some quality time and they like to travel. You know, that's one aspect, and I think that's quite healthy. Some people use more money to pump into the business, and it allows them to, you know, come up with different ways to experiment, and, you know, they're quite entrepreneurial. You know, we could go on and talk about the positive byproducts. There isn't really any negative ones, honestly. The problem is it's just our feelings and thoughts around anything. Money has no fucking idea whether we're happy or sad, or, you know, if that, I know it sounds really stupid to say that, but money is just fucking paper or digital zeros and ones, if you want to talk about Bitcoin or all the rest of it. You know, we as humans, we just attach so much weight and pressure and anxiety and fears around finances. And, you know, it's normal. We all do it. I do it. You know, it happens. But as soon as you step away from that and say, okay, why do I want the money? Why am I talking about money? What's it going to get me? And by taking certain actions, it's going to, the positive byproduct of having XXX is, I want more money to travel, or I would like some more money because I'm going to do an MBA this year, or I'd like more money because, you know, there's something out there that I want to do. I want to relight my ignition in terms of something creative that I haven't done for 2 years. I want to be a vocalist. I want to sing in a choir. You know, the list is endless. But if you work on those actual, call them sub goals, the happy byproducts, whatever you want to call them, then, sorry, go on, Mira.
So it's the same thing. If you know, I want more money to feel happy. I want more money to feel confident. I want more money to feel secure. So the point isn't working on more money. The point is working on finding out what is it about confidence, and changing that, sorting that out. What is it about security? What is it about all these actually core stuff? And then money comes. Money is, again, as you said, it's a tool. And, you know, when you want to do something, tool shows up. In any way of doing things, you know, tool shows up.
If you're in a good place and you're firing all cylinders, so to speak, and you're coming from the right place, grounded, all of this other stuff, or however you want to put it, all the other things will start to slowly click into place. And just to be clear, I'm not saying there's a magic way of doing it and you just float and it's very easy. I'm not saying that at all, because if you look at any narratives, you read story, and I've been doing a lot of research, especially in the last couple of weeks, around, you know, this whole aspect of luck and these people who, you know, from the outside, they look like they've got amazing lives. But if you read the story, it's a whole roller coaster like everyone else. And they had to put a lot of time and effort in. But the real difference with these people is they just put themselves in the right place. They took baby steps. They, you know, looked at all of this different aspects of what truly was going to make them happy. And they just took some steps in the right direction. And just to be clear, that doesn't mean that you have to go all out and have these massive goals. It can really be just some really small steps in the positive right direction. And just by doing that, you wouldn't believe how many doors that will open. And that's when the, you know, the magic, the good shit happens, however you want to put it. So when we talk, you know, we started off with this word finance. What I'd like to ask you all is, you know, what's underneath that? When you say you want to sort your finances out for 2018, what does that really mean to you? You know, what will you do with that money if you do sort your finances out? What are the happy byproducts? You know, what are the sub goals underneath that are gonna, you know, get you what you want?
But actually, those are the real goals. Yeah. So I think, we're about to finish this one. We spoke about many things, but what we mainly spoke about is what you really want. What is it that you're searching for? We spoke about the feelings about money, we spoke about making little small goals in order to get the bigger ones, and all of that. So whatever you found by listening to this interesting, something that caught your attention, something that you would like to explore more, we would like to, if you want to do it in a personal session, we are doing Thursday evening. I'm still going to post out exact time, but it will be Thursday evening. I think 6 p.m. Central European time, 6 or 7. With any of your questions, I'll post out the Zoom link. If you're interested, either post the questions below the link down, or jump up on a call, Zoom call. It will be a group call, unlimited number of people. You might get coaching on the call. You might just listen, people being coached, or we are going to talk about something that pops up, shows up during the week, and we really encourage you to be there. This is going to be an interesting year for us as well, in doing things like that. This is how we are starting, and we don't know where we're going to lead.
Mm-hmm. And even if you just hop on the call, you don't have to be coached. Just by listening to other people's stories, you wouldn't believe how insightful that'll be. And again, most of the things that we get stuck with are pretty universal. So, you'll be able to resonate, and you'll be able to hear that in some of the things in your life as well. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.